So I was inspired by Dr. Greg Rose of the Titleist Performance Institute's latest video. In that video, he talks about why most amateur golfers expend a lot of effort and a lot of energy, but the ball doesn't go very far. It's not how much force they're generating, but when they're generating the force. So at the Titleist Performance Institute, they've studied thousands of golfers. And what they found is the best golfers in the world all had the same kinematic sequence. Okay, so in the backswing, the first thing that moves is the club, then the arms, then the torso, and then the pelvis. And on the downswing, the pelvis initiates the downswing, then the torso, then the arms, and then the club. And what we find with most amateur golfers is they wait until they get to the top of their backswing before they initiate their downswing. Okay, and you've just lost all that elastic energy you just created. When you initiate the downswing before you get to the top, you've just created a greater elastic energy stretch, and that energy is released into the club, and that is what generates our effortless golf swing. So if we want to get our upper body moving in a different direction than our lower body, we need to learn how to dissociate those things. So this is one of our assessment tests in our golf screen, but you get in your 5-iron posture and cross your hands over your shoulders. And then without moving your lower body, try to turn your upper body. And then same thing, keep your upper body still and try to move your lower body. So the next thing Greg talks about is how we generate that pelvic turn. What he talks about is ground reaction forces. Okay, when I generate force into the ground, the force pushes back and turns my body. So for my lead hip, as I push forward into the ground with my toes, the ground reacts and pushes my lead hip back. For my trail hip, as I push back through my heel, the ground reacts and pushes my trail hip forward. And what he found with a lot of golfers is they start seeing the force plates generating that ground force resistance when that club is just past parallel. Okay, so what's happening is you're almost like dynamically putting on the brakes in the pelvis, letting the torso turn, creating that more elastic energy, generating tension in the hips so that when you're ready to initiate the downswing, you just got to let that thing go. Now, one other consideration. It is very important that your core is set. Okay, your core is what transfers that ground energy to your arms. And as you go into your backswing, if your core isn't set, as you start pushing against the ground, what's going to happen is your knee is just going to straighten in your trail leg, and it's going to force your back to overextend. All right, now I've robbed my body of all the energy that I've tried to store up into this hip, and there's no way for me to push myself back over to the left. Okay, it's almost like trying to jump real high with your legs straight. You can't generate a lot of force. Okay, you have to load those hips if you want to generate force off of the ground. Okay, to work on our upper body and lower body dissociation, I like to get into a half kneeling position, get a band or cable anchored about chest height. We get stable on that bottom leg, glutes engaged, core is engaged, and we turn and coming back. Okay, I want you to feel this through the core. I don't want you to be overextended through the back, and get that rotation by arching and extending your back. Now to help out with the ground force reaction, we're going to use a med ball. We're going to load that hip, and then we're going to push. So I'm pushing forward with that front leg, through the heel with this leg, and we are turning and rotating. So one more time. And really emphasize that push back. Now, we can use this several ways. So if you're having trouble loading the trail hip, we can start with the feet together, step, load, and throw. If we're having trouble loading our lead hip, we can start with our feet together, step, and load. Great drill to simulate initiating the downswing with the pelvis while the hands are still traveling up into the backswing. We do the step through drill. So start with your feet together with the club out in front of you. And as it passes your body, you're going to take a step and swing.